Hello everybody! Our boating on the Caledonian Canal was in September this year. And right now we are going to talk about pros and cons because we showed you many videos in many details about the Caledonian Canal. The Caledonian Canal goes from Inverness to Fort William. You can rent a boat in Inverness or Laggan locks. Pros: incredible beauty. Sometimes the weather was rainy, sunny, or just gloomy, and it doesn't matter. You can see that the Caledonian Canal is beautiful at any time, in any weather.
For some people, I suppose what I'm calling the canal boat experience could be a con, but for us, it's surely a pro. The canal boat experience, we mean by that is the fact that when you're on a canal boat, it's like camping out on a boat. Everything is smaller than you're used to, everything is different than you're used to. You're outdoors, you're essentially living outdoors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it is an experience even more heightened because you're on the water. So the canal boat experience is a unique kind of thing. Now, if you don't like getting in and out of canal boats and helping to operate locks and handling lines and doing all the things that a boat involves, and if you don't like cooking your meals on a real tiny little stove and doing all the other things that living on a boat involves, including occasionally being cold in Scotland, then you might not like the experience. But for us, it's great. It's a different kind of experience from the day-to-day at home, and it's one that we particularly enjoy. I think Zena and I both are pretty much believers that wherever you go in the world, people are fundamentally the same and they're pretty much nice everywhere. But there are exceptions and there are places that are more or less nice, I guess you would say. And certainly one of the nicest places I have ever seen, and I think I speak for both of us, is Scotland in terms of how we were dealt with by the local people that we encountered. You know, whether it was the canal lock masters who we encountered while we were going through the locks, or whether it was local people like a lady on a country lane, or whether it was a shopkeeper, or whether it was the people who helped us by giving us a ride back to the boat from the grocery store. Everyone we encountered was without exception pleasant, friendly, good sense of humor, and really a person who added to your day and made your experience more pleasant. Just great people. Scottish people are great. Can't wait to see them again sometime. Zena and I have now been on the canal systems of Ireland and France and Scotland. And of the three, we can say that without a doubt, the locks, the canal system itself, now we're not talking about tourist facilities or anything else surrounding it, but the canal system itself in Scotland is hands down the best. Every lock is manned by professional lock keepers who know what they're doing and are extremely friendly. The canal is clean, the canal is well operated, and the canal is just a delight to be on. Now notice that is different from the facilities that are around it. For example, at every lock that you come to, which is part of a canal, there'll be great restrooms with hot water in the showers and clean plumbing and clean rooms. But if you get away from that lock, you go to a tourist facility, you don't find the same situation. But in terms of the lock system itself, the one in Scotland is really first class, and you've got to commend the Scots for how they've handled this important tourist attraction.
The Caledonian Canal has a few stops, not too many. You can't stop anywhere you want. You have to stop dock where there are slips for your boat. But the stops are very interesting, very attractive for tourists. Some stops have beautiful towns, small towns or villages, but some stops are just near lochs. But anyway, you can go to the countryside and to see the beauty of Scotland. Cons. Few tourist facilities and grocery stores on the Caledonian Canal. If you start in Inverness, there are many grocery stores. A few grocery stores in Fort Augustas, and Fort William has grocery stores. But if you start in Laggan Lochs, where we started, there are no grocery stores. So we took a boat to Fort William and went to the grocery store that located not near the canal, probably from 3 to 6 miles from the canal. So you have to take the bus that we couldn't find, or the taxi. We couldn't find the taxi too. Fortunately, the local people helped us to bring our groceries to the boat. Not every stop has showers or toilets. Like this stop near Gairlochy, it seems like a big docking place, but it doesn't have any showers or the toilet, so you are using everything on your boat. The canal boat can easily be boring, not much to do. I mentioned already that not too many stops on the Caledonian Canal if you are boating. You can't dock anywhere you want. If you get the boat to Laggan locks, and I mentioned there are no grocery stores, only one restaurant, a boat restaurant. I don't know if it is good, we never ate there, but you have to get your groceries and you go through the long loch, approximately 15 miles long, and no stops. The first stop is Gairlochy Loch, and here as well, nothing to do, just sleep when you dock your boat, and that's it. Then to Fort William, approximately 8 to 10 miles, and Fort William is not really interesting in our opinion, and no stops as well till Fort William, and not too much to see around, honestly. But of course, I can't deny it is beautiful. You can just enjoy the beauty of the canal. Now, from Fort Augustus to Drumnadrochet, approximately 20 miles, and no stops. You can't stop anywhere there. So, just look at the beauty of the canal. But we talked about this already, I think. If you like to camp, you would like the boat. Of course, here you can argue it is boring or it is not boring. For example, sometimes you stop and there's just one small restaurant, and next stop has just one castle that is destroyed almost, no restaurants, nothing else. But for some people maybe it is boring, for some people it is great, so you can argue with me. But like I mentioned already, for many miles you are just on the lake or on the canal, and almost nothing to watch around, nothing to see interesting around, or just, like I said, enjoy the beauty.
One of the cons that we experienced on our trip, and you very well might not experience this, was a boat that simply was not the best. Now, it needs to be said straight up that we chose the simplest, cheapest, smallest boat because there was only two of us. We didn't want to spend any more money than necessary, so to a large extent, we got what we paid for. However, If you're in the kind of situation like we are in, or for anyone for that matter, make sure you check and see what kind of boat you're getting. Because surprise to us, our fault, we didn't check, was that our boat didn't have shore power. So there was no way to recharge the batteries except by running the engine. There was no way to plug into the shore and get electricity to recharge the batteries. Now, had we known that, we might have been better prepared for it, but it wound up causing us a little bit of the cold experiences at night a few times. However, just make sure you know what you're getting. There are two operators on the canal who rent canal boats. The one that we rented from has many, many older boats, some new ones too, but many older ones. The other operator seems to have more newer boats. Of course, the newer boats are more expensive. So the boats can be old and they can be pretty basic. Just watch out.
And one thing can be pros or cons. The cost of the boat. If only two of you are going on the boat, the cost of the boat can be very, very pricey. But we noticed that some boats, bigger boats, have 4, 5, 6 or even 8 people and sometimes 10 people. Now, of course, if you divide all expenses, it will be very cheap. So you have to decide. You are going, your trip is going to be cheap or expensive.
When we were deciding on whether or not to rent a canal boat in Scotland, there were a lot of doubts as to whether or not it would be worth the expense. We didn't know how we would like seeing mostly wild countryside without a whole lot of people. We knew it was going to be a little bit cold. We knew it was going to be pretty familiar country for an American in a cultural sense, and we just really didn't know if it was going to be worthwhile. Well, it turned out to be a pretty unusual trip and a pretty different kind of experience. But I think we both enjoyed it more than we thought we would, and probably what we enjoyed the most was the physical attraction of the Scottish countryside. It's just incredibly beautiful. And secondarily to that was the friendliness and hospitality of the Scottish people. All things together, great vacation, great trip, and we recommend it to anybody.